Hi, my name's Ene Oodo. I'm in 4th block of English 1302, and I have the story May I Feel Said He by Cummings. So let's just start off with like the author's background. So Cummings, he decided he wanted to be a poet since like he was a child. A lot of his like work is it has like simpler language, so youth readers kind of read it more. He uses like words like if, am, and because as nouns often. He writes a lot of works on the subjects of war and sex, which the story is about sex, and I'm gonna get into a summary in a second. But at the time of his death, he was the second most widely read poet in the US. So that says a lot about how good he is. So, basically, a quick summary of this story or this poem is it is an exchange between two people testing the boundaries sexually. It explores like desires and risk involved in their interaction. And so I'm going to go through each stanza and just kind of like say what I got from it. So since this is like a really short one, I guess I could like read it off and then like explain what I mean from it. So the first stanza goes, May I feel, said he, I'll squeal, said she, just once, said he, it's fun, said she. So the speakers in this poem are he and she, and we're gonna get into like who those people are later in the stanzas. And so in my opinion, so in the first line, ask for permission to do something, and I think it's like the starting of the sexual intercourse they are about to go through. And so what I got from like what it tells about the relationship, I got that maybe they aren't like interlinked, like they're how do I say this, they're not like dating, like they're not married, like they do this not as often because I feel like they would kind of just be on like the same wavelength kind of. But it does show like respect and boundaries, because he is like asking for permission. Okay, in this stanza there's parentheses, and there's parentheses just in about every single stanza. But some stanzas just don't have like two, like they'll just have like one, and it's like the beginning or it's like the end. But in this stanza it has like two, one in the beginning and then one at like the end of like where the parentheses are. And so from like the parentheses, I got like from this stanza I got like a whisper, and some other stanzas which we'll get into, I think it's like more of like a thought and not just a whisper, but I think this is like a whispering. So like I said, they're doing sex in this, like they're about to, I think, go through sexual intercourse. So in like the set of questions, it's like notice that the lines end with either he or she who's leading the conversation. If you go through, every single line ends in either he or she, and it's alternating. It starts with he and it starts with he in the first stanza, and in the last stanza it ends in she. So it literally just he, she throughout the entire poem. It ends with it. So I don't think anyone's necessarily leading the conversation. So I think it's kind of equally, I didn't go through and like count, but it's literally alternating. Every single one is alternating. So yeah, each line takes turns. So in stanza 2, it goes, May I touch, said he, how much, said she, a lot, said he, why not, said she. So, in the first line of the second stanza, it resembles, like the first line resembles the first stanza, but there's a difference between touch and feel. Basically, feel is more of like emotion, and touch is more of physical sensation. So that's what I got from that. And so in the third stanza, it mentions how far. So like that's what's being granted for like the third stanza. I'm just like going through these questions. Okay, so Cummings uses said when he should be using ask. What effect does this have on the poem? Okay, I thought it like makes the poem feel more alive. Basically, like less about who's speaking, but more about what's unfolding. So yeah. So like I said, there's also parentheses in this one, and this one does have like an actual set of parentheses. And like I said, I just think it's like a whisper. So how receptive is she to his ideas? It's like she's nodding along to what he's saying. Like right now, at least, it's like she's nodding along. But yeah. So in the third stanza, the entire stanza is in parentheses. It starts from the first, ends at the last sentence. Like the entire thing's in parentheses. And it's to me, okay, this one, like these parentheses to me means like the author is, it's like he's trying to like get us in on like a secret. Like he's like sharing a secret of some sort or something. I didn't get a whisper from this one. I got more of like a secret, maybe. It could be like a secret whisper or something. But the other ones I'm just getting kind of more as like, I'm getting kind of more of whispers. So in this stanza, he's like no longer asking, but she's establishing boundaries with him, but this confuses him. I think it's because of the time period. At this time period, like the women would just like follow along with the man's lead and like whatever he says. But this time she's kind of like more like, she's a little bit more questionable on like what he's like asking or like what he's, I guess, saying, because I guess he's not asking questions anymore. But yeah, so it's like the different time period is like the men would like be leading the sexual intercourse and the woman would like be nodding along and just going along with the flow, even if she wasn't comfortable or like she was like questionable or was curious about whatever's going on. So basically in this one, she goes, or not she goes, but in the third stanza, it's like, he says, what's too far? And she says, where you are. I'm thinking that he's gone too far because she literally said, where you are, like where you are right now, like that is too far. And so I think he may have crossed the line, but I guess it wasn't that much of a, like a big line because like they didn't really stop like what they were doing, I guess. Like they kept going. And like you can like see in the later stanzas that I think she starts becoming more in control of what's happening. So in stanza 4, it goes, may I stay, said he, which way, said she, like this, said he, if you kiss, said she. So I was kind of really confused on this stanza, just to be honest. Like, it's just like I'm like curious on like if you kiss, like kiss where? I don't know. But I'm guessing like he's saying may I stay in like whatever position or whatever, and then which way. So she's literally like she's the one like also asking questions now and just not nodding along. And then he's like this, said he, and then she's like only like if you kiss, like, so she is, I think now she is the one leading this dance, doing her thing. Girl got whatever, you know, she's like taking charge. So in stanza 5, it goes, may I move, said he. Is it love, said she. This part, is it love, said she. I don't think she is saying this out loud. I think this is a thought. She's like, is it love? Which gets me to wonder, is this like his girlfriend? Which I've already thought it wasn't. Is this his wife? I already think it's not. So it's like, she's really like, is this love, said she? Or maybe she's like love in like the manner of like love making. If you're willing, said he, and then but you're killing, said she. But you're killing. To me, but you're killing, I think she's saying you're like, she's literally thinking you're killing the mood. Like this is another part where there's only one parenthesis at the beginning. So I think this is another thought. She's like, you're high-key killing the mood right now. That's like what I'm thinking from this. Or she could also be indifferent on what's going on right now. But I think it's more of like you're kind of killing it. I don't know. But they keep going on whatever they're doing. So it says, may I move? Said he. So move, I'm guessing his genitals into her genitals, I guess, with girls. Yeah, I'm guessing, like, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so, yeah, but yeah. So in stanza 6, it starts off with, like, but it's life, said he, but your wife, said she. Pause right there. But your wife? They're not married. They're not dating. She's his mistress. This girl that he is having sex with right now is his mistress. Like, he's like, she's like, but your wife. He has a wife at home. He could have a wife and kids at home. We'd never know. I mean, we wouldn't know. But I'm guessing this is his mistress because she's like, but your wife. Now, said he. Ow, said she. I think, like, in this part, she's like, they're like teasing each other. Like, he's like teasing her because she goes, ow, said he. Maybe he could be hurting her also in that. But I think it's more of like a tease, like a playing around, like a little playful interaction or whatever. But yeah. So in this stanza, the pace starts to pick up. And I think it's because their hearts are racing. Because I think they have started, like, you know, the intercourse and whatever's going on. You know what's going on. Yeah. So, yeah. So, in stanza 7, Tip Top, said he, don't stop, said she. Oh, no, said he, go slow, said she. So, there she goes again. She's setting the rules. She's saying, go slow. Don't stop. Like, she's the one saying the actions. Like, she is calling the shots right now, which it's crazy because in this time period, because this story was published in 1935, and in this time, women, like I said, women just followed the men's, like, lead. But yeah. So, yeah. And to me, tip top means, like, they're at their peak, like, the peak of whatever they're doing. So, yeah, and, so whenever it goes, oh no, said he, I'm thinking maybe, like, he's about to, you know, is ejaculate the word that they use, or you know, he's about to do that, and, she says, go slow, said she, and I don't think she is. I don't think she is. And in the last paragraph, like, you can kind of, like, tell she's, like, not. He goes, you know, come, said she, said, come, said he, said she, you're divine, said he, you are mine, said she. So everything's, like, finished. He seems, like, satisfied because he's like, you are divine, exclamation point. So he's like, you are divine. And she says, you are mine. And if you notice, this is the first time I think he used capitalization throughout the entire poem. In the mine part. The mine. Whenever she says, you are mine. And also, this is also one of the first time he uses punctuation when he uses the exclamation point and the question mark. So yeah, I personally don't think she was able to finish whatever they were doing. Or he was in a rush. Like I said, this is his mistress, or I believe it's his mistress. I don't think she was able to, you know, finish whatever they're doing in time. I think she could have, but I think he was in a rush. He could have been in a rush to go back to his wife and kids and 2 dogs, to whatever he could have 3 golden retrievers, a cat, whatever. I think she's just like in a rush also as well, because this is like, you can like, it's like a quick little poem. The poem, if you read it out loud, I think it takes like a minute and like 15 seconds. So it's like, I personally don't know how long it takes, but maybe it's too long. I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, or she's never had, I also thought about this, or she's never had intercourse before and just didn't know, because she goes, it could either be one of two things. She's never had, but I also don't know, because she does seem to be calling the shots, like whenever she's like, go slow, don't stop. So it's like, either maybe she just knows what she's doing, or maybe she's just like, I don't know. She either could be going too slow, and so she wasn't as satisfied as he was, or she's never really done this before, and it's just kind of like going along with like what she's feeling and stuff, and like the momentum. But yeah, that's what I got from this story. It kind of broke down stanza by stanza. Like I said, this poem was published in 1935. And it kind of like it flips, because now she's like setting the rules, when in 1935 the men were setting the rules through sexual intercourse and stuff like that. So, and so about the conflict, man versus society, because this man isn't really following the societal norms, I guess. Also, I'm kind of shocked he's like kind of not, he's letting her call some shots, like I said, because back in the day it was the men doing it. But he's like as I read this, I'm just like, he's now going along with the flow, not she. But yeah, a social concern is like the controlling of men, but he doesn't fit. And like towards like, I think maybe maybe like the 5th, 6th stanza is whenever she kind of starts, or the 4th one, whenever she goes, if you kiss, said she, because that's whenever she's like, she stops being like, what's, like, where you are, like, oh no, whenever she's like, where you are, I think that's whenever she's like, yeah, because if you look in the previous one, it's kind of like, she's kind of just like answering questions. But whenever he's like, what's too far, she's like, where you are, hun, like, back up, you hiking a little bit too close. But yeah, that's what I got from this text. I don't know if this is going to be shown in class or not, but I'd rather like present it though. But yeah, thank you, Miss Proctor, for listening to my what is this, discussion lead. I hope it was good. Bye, have a great night.